Hello everyone, Spaced Oyster here, and welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy XII The Zodiac Age. In the last episode, we hunted down the Gill Snapper and the Ring Warp, and we're pretty much just going to be continuing to hunt. Yeah, lots of things to kill. It's just like Christmas all over again. Yeah, I guess the most important thing from that last episode was that we found the Feather of the Flock. And that they also said that they would be back in Giza during the dry spell, or season. So, that gives me a good opportunity to make sure I bring up when it changes to the dry in Giza. After the events at Mount Ber-Omises, and I believe by events at Mount Ber-Omises, I mean the ones where Judge Bergen attacked and we got to beat his Wolverine impersonating ass. The Giza Plains will start to switch every couple of in-game hours. So right now it's raining, and then I think if I give it about an hour or two, it's going to be dry, and then it'll switch back to rainy and dry every so often. If you need it to be a specific season, I would recommend just doing a couple side quests around Rabanastre until it changes, so that way you're not just sitting here waiting. Otherwise, it's pretty much just going to be a pretty long wait. And also thinking I should really cut out these runs between quest objectives. But at the same time, I'm not 100% sure about how well I'd be able to actually do that. Anyway, back to the Sandsea for our next hunt. And I forgot to check if it was actually still rainy there. That's okay. Anyway, there are two more hunts that I would like to take care of right now, and then the rest, while they were recommended to me at this point in time, I feel like putting them off because they always give me a lot of trouble. Anyway, our next target is going to be the XII. This one's from another Garif, and so we're going to have to head back to Jahara. And let's see, the other one... Oh, there it is, the Feral Retriever. Now, since these two are both pretty close together, I figured I should pick them both up. And then we can go talk to the petitioner, hunt down one, then go talk to the other petitioner and hunt down the other one. Pretty sneaky evil plan, if I do say so myself. So, we're gonna go ahead and return to the South Gate. Yeah, the bad thing about the Gill Snapper is I don't think that hunt counts as completed until you hand it in to the people themselves during the dry season, and I think I got lucky because I think it's dry. It's dry! Yay! And unfortunately, even though this game was built like an MMO, the enemies do not behave like they would in an MMO. They're always going to be hostile to you. Always. Anyway, let's go ahead and check out that, test out that Feather of the Flock first. Ever heard of a Nana? It's this green beast what they breed in the Southlands. I heard there ain't hardly a bit of them that they don't use for something. Looking at them, I can't hardly tell whether they're birds or beasts, but anyhow, they ain't nowhere near as good-looking as us cockatrices. I am so sorry, that was horrible. Dani is a diamond of an herdswoman, you know. She don't have to look at us twice to know if we've got our feathers in a knot. And her massage is something else. I can hardly keep from nodding off when she does me neck. Eh? What neck? Something up with your eyes, is there? Yeah, these cockatrices are so adorable. Anyway, the ring that we got from the ghost, we give that to the nomad elder. That ring? But where? Where did you find it? That's the very ring. The ring he gave me on our wedding day. But I was careless, and I lost it. So precious a thing, and yet I lost it. Sadine saw how sad I was, so he set off into the plains to find it. He knew the rains would soon come, but still he went. I waited and waited. Then the rains came, and I could wait no more. He never returned. Even after all these years, I could never bring myself to leave this place. I'd given up on ever finding that ring, but I never stopped thinking about it. And here, out of the blue, you bring it to me. Thank you. Thank you so much. So, I guess it was a wedding ring. Alright, and then here's... Oh no, that's Masuya. Nano is right here. The Rain Lord, the Gill Snapper. It is dead at last. How can we ever thank you? No more stand and watch in the rains for us. Thanks. Whoa, what? The Gill Snapper's in here? No way am I holding that. Don't look at me. Hey, Nanu, I meant to ask you, whatever happened to that hairpin I gave you? Well, it had a really nice pattern, so I, kept it? What? After all that, you've had it the whole time, so then it's your fault that thing showed up. You're the one who bought it. You blame me for everything. Well, I never. I've heard quite enough out of you two. The Rain Lord is held fast inside the urn. It shouldn't trouble us again anytime soon. Which brings us to you. You've done us a great service. You deserve to know the whole story. You see, the magics of the urn had grown weak, so it became necessary to replenish its stores. The Rain Lord within has the power to quiet the beasts of the plains, and in turn, the power to keep us safe. But the urn's power fades with time. When a new Rain Lord appears, we must seal it within the urn to keep our plains safe. Then that means... all this didn't have anything to do with the tortoise shell I bought. So how come you told us to never buy tortoise shell? I never said anything of the sort. I said, no matter the price it might fetch at market, you should not kill a tortoise simply to harvest its shell. This is true of all things, not merely tortoises. Whether hunting beasts or gathering herbs, take only what you need, no more. Yes, ma'am. Now, I'll be taking the urn back. Nanu, Roaku, you served the village well, as have you, young man. Thank you. Awkward silence. Although that message about only taking what you need, that's kind of hypocritical for this game to be telling us that, because we take a lot more than what we need from all these enemies. And by a lot more, I mean a lot more. Your main source of income is going to be killing all these enemies and selling all their stuff. So that way you can buy new stuff. Very hypocritical. Anyway, let's go ahead and turn on fleeing and run away! Since we're already pretty close to the Giza Plains anyway, or not the Giza Plains, the Osmone Plains, I'm just gonna walk to Jahara. Well, I guess run away. Run away. I've been thinking I should probably be controlling Ash a lot more frequently since she is the main character after all. But at the same time, I don't really care that much, and I got stuck on the environment. Guess it doesn't really matter to me. I should just use whoever is useful. And I went the wrong way, too. Sorry. Really off day today. Unfortunately, these enemies are so weak they can't even hurt Ash, and Ash is a black mage. She is wearing mystic armor. It consists of mage's habits, whatever that is. Actually, I think she's onto the wizard's habit now. And yeah, I know, I could totally kill all these enemies, but I don't really feel like it. Sorry, almost yawned there. Alright, we are here in Jahara. And we get to see all of the very neat-looking Garif around. I've always liked the Garif. Very, very interesting. Anyway, High Chief Zelu here is who we need to talk to. You have come to slay XII? Oh, I have lived many years, yet fate never fails to surprise me. XII is an evil spirit, as frightful as fear itself. It smells the warm blood of men, and attacks without warning or hesitation. Many who I know have already fallen to this fiend, great warriors, all. I will not lie, this is a most dangerous foe. Then I am in your debt, yet you must not fight that which you are unable to defeat. Should you sense that your life is in peril, flee. Flee at once. XII can be found in the Hene Mines. Enter from the Osmone Plain, and beyond a junction, near the Phase 1 shaft, you shall find it. May the spirits of the land protect you. Do this, and return safely to us. XII, the hunt begins. Give me just a second. Alright, and we are back. Sorry about that. I had to get some water and get more comfortable. My voice is getting a little bit raspy. Rasputin? Raspy. Anyway, so we gotta get to the Hene Mines, which, as you will recall, require the use of a chocobo. So, let's go ahead and rent one here in Giza from Gertie. Yeah, she gives us the tutorial on chocobos. Why can't I talk today? Run, my darling. Yeah, while you're on a chocobo, enemies will also completely ignore you, so they're also handy for that. Anyway, we're here. Go ahead and dismount. And go into the Hene Mines. Let's see, he said Phase 1 shaft, which is around here. According to the guide I looked at, it's near where we found the map. So we're gonna have to, let's see, activate this one. And then move forward. And then we'll have to activate this one. I guess we can let the party kill all these jellies, because Ash is here, and she is going to destroy them. Just like that. Anyway, let's go ahead and just go on. Anyway, I think it should be near the map, so yeah, let's just find it, slow things down, so that way it doesn't get too out of hand, and then we'll have to set up gambits. Yeah, the guide I'm looking at probably isn't the best one for hunts on the Zodiac Age. I mostly use it to get level recommendations, but all the tactics it suggests using are more effective on the PlayStation 2 copy of the game. Since on the PlayStation 2, what am I trying to say? On the PlayStation 2, you'd have access to a lot more stuff that can make these hunts a lot easier to handle, even at lower levels. So for example, there is this one item you can find that reverses the effects of all your items. Shit, no one can cure Doom yet. That's okay though. This guy actually isn't all that tough. The recommended level for him was 25. For some odd reason, it was suggested to tackle him after all these other hunts, where the recommended level was 30, and the average level of the enemies you fight on the way is about 35. Yeah, you can drain all your MP, but it's really not that big a deal. Hey look, we just won! The XII is vanquished. So I'm thinking I should try and find a different hunt guide, but sadly that's been a very tough order to fill. And I figured I'd have Balthier try to use the remedy since he's an archer, and archer is basically this game's chemist. But it didn't work. I don't think I've unlocked the gambit, or not the gambit, the thingamajig for it. Although, speaking of gambits, I keep forgetting to buy the one that lets me target enemies with the status condition Reflect. And I just keep forgetting about it. I'll have to make a note to remind myself the next time I'm in Rabanastor. Anyway, let's go ahead and report our success first. Oh, right. He had Doom. That's why he died. And then there's a chocobo right here. This chocobo is always here. It's to prevent you from getting stuck in this area. You don't need to use a Geishel Green, or how you pronounce that, to get on it. They put it here so that way players can't trap themselves in the Hene mines by throwing away all their teleport crystals and then getting here and then getting off a chocobo. Although, speaking of the Hene mines, there's the path I need to take. I love the chocobo rap. I'm just as bad as Prompto on Final Fantasy 15. Speaking of Final Fantasy 15, I haven't been playing it recently, but my last playthrough was actually going pretty well. I decided to focus mainly on having Noctis use magic because of course I would. Magic was really overpowered in that game. Anyway, let's go ahead and talk to the High Chief Zealu. So, you have killed XII. Thank you. And I have for you a story. In truth, XII was nothing other than the spirits of all Gareth who lost their lives in the Hene mines, twisted into evil. Normally, the warriors of our village would deal with such a threat. However, even though it be evil, it was still kin. Yet, how surprised I was to see you, who are known to us, come to our aid. Perhaps this was the wish of our ancestors, now fulfilled. Weird story, but whatever. I guess the moral of the story is don't kill your relatives. I mean, that should be pretty obvious, but still. Anyway, let's go ahead and talk to Gertie and rent another chocobo. This time it'll cost us money. I remember way back when we were first here in Jahara and the war chief said, oh yeah, you can use a chocobo, it'll be free. I never rode a chocobo until this episode. Well, I never got the free chocobo ride. Yeah, I'm horrible. Ooh. But you could ride the chocobo from all the way from Jahara up to Mount Beromises, which is our next destination. Although I guess if I wanted to save time, I could have just teleported there, but I kind of felt like I wanted to save my teleport crystals. It's not a big deal. I kind of enjoy being able to use the chocobos for once, and these two locations were close enough together that I felt like going between them like this wouldn't be too much of an inconvenience. I mean, the Malboros are kind of inconvenient, but they're Malboros. Morbo? Excuse me. Well, I guess the thing to talk about on the way there, my sister actually found this really weird thing called Rent-A-Friend. I think it's this website you can go to, and you can rent a friend. And I don't think it's supposed to be a, quote, friend, but it does sound like a gateway profession into prostitution. Because it pays $50 an hour, and all you have to do is hang out with someone. It reminds me of this one service I heard about that's offered in Japan, where you can spend a lot of money to just talk to a pretty girl on the phone. Like, it's not phone sex, because I think that's something they specifically don't do. But, yeah, you can just hire a pretty girl to talk to you over the phone. Or I think it was to hang out with you. She did mention it's popular in the LGBT community around Japan because they have to stay in the closet a lot, or feel obligated to stay in the closet. But I don't know, it still sounds like a gateway profession into prostitution to me. Anyway, our next guy is here, Hims. Oh, you have perhaps seen my posting. You have come to slay the feral retriever. I thank you. The feral retriever looks in Paramina Rift, attacking those coming to the holy city for salvation. There have been many deaths. The latest reports say the feral retriever was seen near the southern part of the rift, near the still shrine of Miriam. Please, sir, help us. Quick and to the point. I like it. Let's go ahead and touch that save crystal so we're all healthy. Although if I remember this one right, it's going to be right next to the save crystal that's between here and the still shrine of Miriam. Anyway, let's just get going there. But despite referring to it as a gateway to prostitution, it doesn't seem like the most horrible idea ever. It could be a good way to get your foot in the door, and when you're moving to a new area, just meet some new people and yeah, get someone nice to show you the area. Alright, and I know I normally don't fight the elementals, but now that most of my characters aren't using element-specific weapons, I'm gonna give it a shot. Let's see, Rose Corsages for Finello and Ash. Alright, and I'm just gonna use a Dispel Mote because Pinello is busy. Let's see, Dispel. Where are you? Dispel. There it is. Yeah, this thing is just as stupid as the AI can be. Oh. For some odd reason, it's now immune. Now that's curious. no, whatever. Let's just change Ash's Gambits up a smidge to hit it with a non-elemental attack. I think it changed its elemental affinity. Where is the prince's keys? Okay, here we go. Kills the elemental. It deserves it. There we go. Okay. Let's go ahead and move Ash's Gambit back down and equip her back with that glacial. I hope my button presses aren't too loud. Hopefully I'll be able to just edit them out if they are. Hopefully. It's really tough to multitask. I should have just done all this stuff while I was preparing for the episode, but I didn't think of that. Okay, you know what? I know of a way I can make this easier on myself. Alright, really quick note. Magic isn't going to be very useful against this thing. So, what you're going to want to do is, if you have a black mage in the party, I would highly recommend taking them out. He uses a wide variety of status conditions, so I wouldn't bother trying to make yourself immune to any specific one, and just go at him. When he gets low on health, he'll start using that skill Balance, which is really only useful when when the enemies use it, because they're the only assholes who have enough HP to make it even worthwhile. And since it's an AoE, it's going to instantly kill you if it works. So just kill him with extreme prejudice. Make sure you have a ranged character to stay far away from the action. And you should be good. Let's see, let's go ahead and throw a remedy at Balthier. And then let's have Penello ready a quickening to kill this bastard before it gets out of hand. Let's see, Bosch has one, and let's prop in Ash. Alright. Well, it got out of hand anyway. This is my second time going at it because he hit me with Balance, and then immediately when I got my backup party in, he used it immediately again. Yeah, I'm not very happy. But hopefully that will do it. And of course it didn't. But it doesn't matter either way because he is dead. And the world is going to be forever a better place because he's dead. I'm going to spit on his grave. Anyway, let's go ahead and report back to the client. And then we'll call that an episode. Yeah, that's the way my party was set up. But seriously, really, really glad it's dead at this point, because I really don't want to have to put up with Balance on enemies who are the only people who can ever make any good use of that spell at any time, ever. Seriously, I don't know what they were thinking giving it to that thing. Hate that thing so much that it's a little tempting to put a save right in front of it and just go kill it again, and again, and again, and again. because of course they would highlight just how completely useless a spell like Balance is by having an enemy be able to use it perfectly in a situation that you can never, ever replicate, because your health totals, even when you double them with Bubble, will never even come close to making Balance even remotely useful in any way. You have slain the feral retriever, then you have rid us of a terrible menace. I am sure his grace, the late Anastasis, smiles down upon you. Alright, well, I'll see you all next time. Thank you all for watching, and yeah, have a good rest of your day.